Glasgow by day, shops, galleries, parks. The home of Billy Connolly, Gerald Butler and Frankie Boyle. The dear green place which its name derives from. But Glasgow by night is the setting for another story. A story many of us don't know, a story many of us would find shocking, disturbing, tragic. But this is also Glasgow's story, and I want to share it with you. I'm going to be talking to the men and women whose lives are played out in the anonymity of the homeless person. To people who say it's their fault, it's their choice, what would you say to these people?
I would say the people that tend to say that are too scared to come see it for themselves.
What we're trying to obviously explain to the government and explain to the public, that people are having to choose either heat or eat.
Well, I took early retirement so I could come and do full time here. Yes.
Every day was the same, doesn't matter what is day from week.
Colin McKenna, is this your brainchild?
Yes.
How did it start?
So myself and my friend started the homeless charity in October 2019. So I actually started off as a Scotland's Winter project, and we only planned to do it over the winter months. We started off with a flask of water, a flask of soup and 2 sandwiches and a packet of bourbon biscuits. Wow. And we took to the streets of Glasgow, and we were robbed for all our food within the space of 10 minutes of arriving on the streets. So all our bags were emptied, we didn't have enough food for people, and we saw this is a big demand for people in the streets. So after that we had gathered up more food, come out some more nights, and then we refurbished a old snack van trailer, and we brought it to the streets, and we started serving like Greggs sandwiches and macaroni cheese. And
so let me interrupt you there. So where was all this coming from, all this food? Was this being donated to you?
Yeah, so the sandwiches and stuff and the pasties and stuff we used to heat up in the microwave and stuff, give to people, all came from Greggs. So nice. Greggs and other supermarkets have a lot of surplus food, we collect it at the end of the night.
Right, okay, so it's what they were throwing out basically.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of donations though, actually, from companies since then?
Yeah, so we get inundated with donations from companies of surplus food and stuff. So example, today we received 94 packets of frozen sausages from Morrison's, and each packet's got 45 sausages in each pack. Okay. So it was
so how long will that keep you going for?
That will keep us going in sausage hot pots at the soup kitchens, for several months.
Brilliant.
So we have 3 soup kitchens a week at the moment.
Right. What days are the soup kitchens
They're on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 till 10 o'clock at night.
Okay. Right.
And we're serving an average about 650 meals a night.
Okay. Yeah, because not everyone knows that in this metropolis we've got this going on underneath Glasgow Central Station. No. Because we're actually just 5 minutes away from the actual station itself. Yeah. And we saw outside, the scenes outside, people are actually queuing up to be fed, and there are like stalls all along underneath the bridge with all sorts of food served out to people.
So the Gurdwara gave us these. Yeah. These are from the Gurdwara, so it's got a wee bottle of water in there, it's got a banana, an apple and a packet of crisps and a wee biscuit bar in there. Absolutely amazing, thanks to the Gurdwara.
Even if you just help out that one person and you sit down for 5 minutes and hear their story, it's a wild thing, the things you can learn, do you know what I mean? And you see how vulnerable they really are, and you realise, right, this is really important. How much work you can actually do for that one person.
You're changing people's lives here.
Aye.
There's nothing more you can do, there's nothing better you can do than that, is there, at all,
It's one of them things where you're talking to someone that they're kind of closed in themselves, and you realise that they're just kind of people passing them by constantly, don't really get to sit down and talk to them, and as soon as you come up and say, like, do you even need someone to talk to? Instantly just open up and like, can I need this, I need that, I'm struggling at home.
Do you not find though that people tend to categorise and say they're homeless, when in reality anybody could be homeless at any time?
It could happen, does it? Any moment. It's just a rippling effect.
Oh, some nice tomato pasta as well from the Gurdwara. So that's the Sikh temple, absolutely amazing.
Can you show me what's still on here?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
So, we've got a wide range of different things here. So we've got a street outreach bikes, they're electrical bikes. They go from 0 to 40 in 2 seconds, and we can reach right around the outer circles with them. Okay. We've got a lot of pot noodles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of teas, coffees, food. stretches out. You've got water in the back here. We've got a lot of first aid stuff, responsive stuff.
Okay. When does that come in handy?
A lot of the times people see here it says acid attacks, so there is quite a lot of kind of responsive things like violence that get instituted, and then you've got AED, so medical assistance people passing out and stuff. We also carry naloxone, so if people were to overdose, this kind of brings them back. And obviously, like, people burn marks and they've hurt themselves too, because drink and drugs does get used on a weekly basis. So there's multiple different variations. Well, this was needed the most.
Wow, amazing.
We also have lots of sandwiches and stuff here from Greg's and the Pret. We also have some, I think we have apple pies that came from Morrison's. And we also have some apples, blueberries, turnips, and we've also got soup packs here tonight. So with all the vegetables we got from the orchard and bigger, we've made up in soup packs. So we've got turnip, leeks, onions, potatoes, carrots, all in these soup packs here.
Over here, we've got a lot of pots and pans. Now these all get used at some point or another through the week. We've got cleaning equipment. We've got a lot of cans here. They get fired out every week. Crisps, tins of food, sleeping bags. It's volunteers vests that go out in the street team with us. We've got these trolleys here, and lots and lots of just general nutritious food. We never kind of make any processed stuff. It's all fresh foods that we make here.
So what would be a typical meal, a typical sort of day plan of food for the homeless?
That we supply?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got multiple different kind of variations. So we get mac and cheese, we get curries, we make a lot of sausage hot pot, and it's all made from scratch. As you see, we've got onions and carrots here, and all the meat is freshly supplied.
As you can see, we're very, very busy tonight. We've got lots of people under the gazebos in the rain to come and get some food. And we also have Kieran, who's from our Total Control Security, and Kieran's here to keep everybody safe and make sure that everybody gets fed and gets a fair share of what we've got tonight. Alright, Kieran? What would you say, Kieran, to the public that are watching tonight?
Donate, contribute, stay safe.
Awesome. And what would you say, Kieran, to the owner of your security company for his generosity of sending you guys down here?
He's always happy to help out anybody that needs
Amazing
it.
guy, Alan, isn't he?
Always,
Amazing guy.
always has been.
Awesome. And I like your new hairdo, your new haircut there, Kieran. Awesome.
Not a hub of operations, but plenty to see. So we've got rice cookers, because we supply that much rice every week that we need multiple rice cookers on the go. As you can see, there's another one there, one here. Kettles as well, hot kettles. This is all one of the 2 foods that are going to be made.
Right.
This is obviously we have fresh hot thermal cups and kettles, but at the same time, if things are really bad and we start running out of hot water, on the go, we come in here, we make some. Get pressure washers to wash these pots quickly so they can go back out. Loads of bin bags, because we go through a lot of food. And then going through here, it's just kind of spares in there. I'll take you back out for a second. Never had to use that. We have had people at desperations trying to come in and obviously chance their arm. So if things the security at that front door, but if things go from bad to worse, that's our only exit, in and out here and there.
Okay.
Right
Anyways,
here.
I see a lot of sanitary things here. That's good to see. So you've got
There's
sanitary protection, you've got deodorant, shampoo.
we kind of tend to go through a lot of this every week, because even though they've not got somewhere to stay, the hostels that they go into, that they need to pay into, and that's why obviously they need the money every week. They do have toiletries to use. We keep it in small amounts so that you can pack it into their bags, because they come here for the food, but they also need to carry about their clothes, all the stuff they own, because they don't have a house to store it in. We have a lot of kind of baby diapers. We've got a lot of sanitary products, as you said, cotton buds, roll-on stuff, and toothbrushes, all the lot.
See a few blankets up there.
Yeah. So obviously people will do everything they can to stay warm, but we tend to give these out if people are in dire conditions and they can't get a house. But we do absolutely everything we can to get them at accommodation. It's the most important thing for us.
Yep.
I would say we do our best to try and not promote people sleeping rough in the street. We do everything we can for accommodation, so we don't tend to just give out the sleeping bags or survival tents willy-nilly. We tend to phone up the councils, every council we can in Scotland, and get them that house, in every way we can, basically. So apart from all that, we've got these cups here. Costa cups, big ones. They're giving it for the tea. These gas stoves. I'll just show you a quick example. So, gas stove goes in here. That heats up our food.
I just try my best.
And what are your responsibilities here? I know you come in every day. What do you actually do here?
Cook food for the homeless, do whatever else is needed. Anything they want done, I'll do it.
You'll do it. You're the person that just steps up and does everything. There's a smell in here of food and it's delicious. I'm actually getting hungry now. And that's you, isn't it, with your splendid cooking?
Well, mincing potatoes and sausage casseroles tonight.
That sounds all right to me. Now, Christoph, you said you're from Poland.
Yes.
What brought you to Scotland?
I stay in Scotland 16 years over, and Scotland adopted me.
Right, it adopted you.
Yes.
As it often does, adopt people. And do you feel quite at home here then?
But for me, that Scotland is the best country in Europe.
It's a good wee team here.
It's
Yeah,
a team,
it's a good team.
people.
Yeah. Good to be a part of and give back, I suppose. I don't think we realise how lucky we are sometimes.
There's an old lady that comes, 70 odds. She comes for a tea, I think she's for company more than anything. She comes just for feeding, things like that. Takes a few bits. And there's also kids that come with their mother for something to eat, something hot to eat. And we come as well.
Right, and when you see these wee kids coming in here, how do you feel?
Heartbroken.
You must
Because
do.
they've got to come somewhere for food.
Yeah.
It's either that or no vetting at all.
I would say about between 8 and 12 kids, you know, the general kind of queue.
Yeah.
It tends to get more and more frequent, it tends to be kids. You know, it's like families coming for hot meals, just general supplies, you know. Some of them can't heat their own homes, but at one point it's like just children in prams to like grown little toddlers, and it just goes more and more. The more like cuts that keep happening, the more often we're seeing it. Do you know what I mean? It's not a nice sight to see, but we've got the support there if they ever need it.
Christoph's one that struck me because he's come from being homeless to be coming here as getting self food. Then
I'll be talking to Christoph in a wee while, but you tell me a story first of all.
Becoming a volunteer, getting housed, getting a job.
Now listen, Christoph, you were homeless for a while, weren't you?
Because being released from jail and job centre refused me universal credit.
Okay.
And sent me on the street.
Okay, so they just said, you do what you want, you know, we'll not give you universal credit.
Yeah.
Find your own way.
You know, after jail you have none.
Okay, you weren't helped at all.
No.
You know, what struck me tonight coming here is just how many of you there actually are, which makes me think that people must actually be very good deep down, you know. You know, we see examples of people being not compassionate, not caring, but you guys are all here and you're coming here every night. You're giving up your lives. That other lady, Isabella, has actually retired to come and do this. So obviously there's a lot of good happening in the world as well today.
Yeah, I suppose you do see the good side of Glasgow.
Yeah.
Families as well that can't afford to heat their house or feed the kids, so it's one or the other, so they've got to come out.
So you're saying that in Scotland today, in Britain today, people are having to choose between heating their houses and feeding their kids. This is what we're saying.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty disgraceful, isn't it?
It is, especially for kids as well.
That's terrible.
My name's Greg. I come from England originally. I moved up here in 2009 from being homeless. Basically got everything together and it's all falling apart again. And I've just come to Glasgow fleeing violence. And I'm here trying to get food for me and my animals tonight. It's a bit cold up here in Glasgow, unlike down south as usual.
My name's Henry Stein and I'm 72 years old, and I come here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I think the food's quite good. I mean, if we in this place here, I don't know what we'd do without that.
Roxy dog, rescued her 7 years ago from being put to sleep, and she's the only reason I'm still here, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I've just got accommodation sorted out today. So I was sleeping on the streets for a week, and it's not exactly where they'd be sleeping out on. You know, and I was trying to get my life back on track.
There should be more of this everywhere else in Glasgow. There's soup kitchens and that. There are not enough places, there are not enough hostels for people. and I hope the years may come, and more to come, from my heart.
People are generous, very generous in Glasgow, very generous compared to Kilmarnock. I get arrested for sitting in the street in Kilmarnock, whereas up here the police just ask me if I'm okay and look after me. It's brilliant. People are brilliant in Glasgow, and this for this charity, godsend, godsend.
The soup kitchen in Argyle Street. Had you been here before? Do you know it?
Yeah, I've been to visit them a few weeks ago.
Right, okay.
I'm thinking now, is it a few weeks or is it longer than that, because such is the nature of time, but
yeah.
they've been here for such a while now doing great work.
They're doing great work, so you know what they do, you know
yeah,
their sort of like their thing. Thanks very much for coming, by the way. It's
not
a pleasure
at all,
to
not
have
at
you
all.
here. Okay, so homelessness, the factors that contribute to homelessness are, as you know, expensive housing, unemployment, poverty and substance abuse. What's the government doing to tackle this just now?
Well, as you say, it's a very complex issue, and for
Yeah.
some people going through homelessness, it's been a long-term issue as well, which makes dealing with it all the more difficult too. So what the Scottish Government has done has invested a great deal in services, working through Glasgow City Council and through a range of different organisations within the city in partnership to try and provide those support services. So there's a range of those in the city, suiting to different needs as well, because not every homeless person has the same needs.
They're so
some people have
varied,
very different
yeah,
needs.
exactly.
Just getting, without an address, it's that catch-22. Without an address, you can't get a job. Without a job, you can't get an address. You know, so it's stuck in a honeypot, really.
You know, after jail, the first time in this situation, not know where to go. And somebody from homeless told me about this place, can't take food. Because from food, I'm not thief.
Of course you're
And no
not.
universal credit, you know, no money.
Yeah.
I cannot sit on the street and collect money.
Yeah, my mum passed away, and I gave up. I just went to drugs, and gave up on everything. I lost my house, lost everything, I had a wife, everything.
As evidenced by the services that work here from Homeless Project Scotland, there's still a huge need there.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. How important do you think mental health is in contributing to the huge amount of homelessness we have in Scotland just now?
It's certainly a factor, yeah. It's certainly a factor, and there's lots of, again, varying and complex issues that result in people ending up homeless, and mental health can be certainly a part of that, yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, talking to the volunteers here, I've come to know that homelessness really can strike at any age, and they actually deal with children as young as, I think, 18 months here. Correct me if I'm wrong there, 18 months. In fact, they've got baby clothes up there. Now, you as a mum, I mean, how does that affect you, just hearing that?
It's hugely affecting when you see people in those circumstances not being able to have the security that they need of a roof over their head for their wee ones. But again, there are complex reasons, and lots of the people that find themselves in those circumstances do so for a range of reasons, and I think that's really difficult as well.
Yeah, I think each
Nobody
reason
should
has to be tackled, you know, in a different
absolutely.
way.
People need to be looked at individually
yeah,
and the
yeah,
circumstances that got them to it.
How young have you seen children coming in here?
Like I seen I think the youngest I've seen so far is an 8-month-year-old.
8 months.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty bad. There's like families that do come here. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. You know, it's not a nice sight to see, and obviously you just need to deal with it and help them at the time. But you know,
that's a tragedy.
yeah, it's getting too frequent.
Scotland are actually tackling homelessness very well at the moment, aren't they?
Yes, and certainly I see a bit of the contrast working in Parliament, seeing MPs from other parts of the UK and how they describe what's going on in their constituencies. And on that bigger picture, I would be calling for the UK government to do more to support people as well, in terms of making sure that they get the benefits they're entitled to. Because some people aren't supported to claim benefits, it's made difficult for them. Make that as easy as possible.
Everything is possible.
Everything's possible.
Yes.
Everything's possible. Your life has turned from pretty
From
bad
down
to really, really good.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to this place as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
That light, when we was kids, you see a little white light in the spot on the TV when it went off. Mine's not getting small, it's getting bigger. That's the way I look at it. So that's the reason I'm still here, because my little white spot's getting bigger.
And how do you see this going ahead? Are you going to keep this up for a long time, do you think?
Well, I'll keep this up as long as I can. As long as I can stand, as long as I can continue cooking.
You see, I can see from your eyes that this is your passion, isn't it?
It is.
It's your love, isn't it?
It is, I love it.
It's just sometimes can ask what you do for a charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these people do that.
Just to say, turn your head, I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get involved, find out a bit more about the charity, what we do, and the kind of support that people unfortunately need.
The teeniest bit of like kind of assistance towards them makes their day. I mean, even just saying like, take this £1 for a cup of tea, a can of iron brew, and then they're excited. Yeah, people who really need it.
Makes our day too, though, doesn't it? Do you not find that?
Do you know what I mean?
I think I'd save plenty of lives, and I should be given some sort of an award. I really do.
You know, that's for people. Doesn't matter from which one country. If somebody arrived to Central Station and come out and see that, his heart is squeezed. Must be squeezed. If not squeezed, no heart.
If you want to donate to Homeless Project Scotland, head to our website at homelessprojectscotland.org, and you can visit our Facebook page and like it, share it, let your friends and family know. We'll sign off for tonight. Stay safe. Have a good evening.